Ho hum. It's a sad day at Kripple Krew Studios today because today is the day the McNees PM Mac 2 3.5 Gen 2 goes home to the awesome Chris Lopez. Shout out and thank you again, homie, for letting me borrow this American legend. And before it goes in the box and I bid my tearful farewell, I figured I'd show or share at least my final thoughts with you guys. So if you want to know what I think about this American icon, stick around. What it do, Kripple Krew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly. And yes, we are taking another look at this fantastic piece of American knife art. Now, I have done like an initial thoughts, kind of first impressions video on this when it got here. But I've spent a couple of weeks with it now. And Chris was awesome enough to allow me to carry this, and I have used it as well. Now, I haven't done any heavy duty cutting with it, even though it's built for it. It's, I've done like daily EDC cutting tasks, because it's not my knife. But I have had a chance to carry it, and so I can let you know my thoughts. But first, stab that like button like you mean it. /subscribe. I'd love to have you here. You're not going to want to miss all the dope knife and EDC content coming your way. And bash that bell so you get notified of all the new content and any new giveaways. Now, quick note, if you're not a member of Kripple Krew Inc., it only costs a couple of bucks a month to join, where you get access to members-only content and giveaways. But right now, it also gets you access to the Kripple Krew Inc. Gas Station Knife War of 2025. Yes, this is a members-only contest, and yes, we are having some fun. So, click join below. All right. The McNees Mac 2, or pardon me, the McNees PM Performance Machined Mac 2 3.5 Gen 2 Drop Point Rendition with the flat grind. There's a lot to say because there's a lot of classifications for this knife. There are different grinds, different blade shapes, and of course, a ton of different show size scale materials. Now, this particular version has the apocalyptic finish with the, it just looks awesome on that MagnaCut Drop Point blade. And what we're looking at, I'm going to give you the numbers real quick if you're not familiar. This is 7.63 inches overall length with a 3.5 inch blade, as I'm sure you guessed from the name. We are looking at a 4.19 inch handle length and an overall weight of right around 4.5 ounces, depending on your scale materials. We have 150 thousandths of MagnaCut at 63 to 64 HRC. Perfect. That is absolute perfection to get the most out of MagnaCut, to get you the best, the highest amount of edge retention, the most toughness, and this is going to be, pretty much corrosion free with titanium, hardware, carbon fiber, and MagnaCut. What's to rust? So, these are a heavy duty frame lock. As you can see, we've got about 25-30% lockup, probably 30% lockup, which is quite a bit on a 150 thousandths blade stock. And one thing that I did notice is we do not have a lock bar insert. Yes, these titanium scales are carbonized so that you don't have any friction or any wear with that titanium on steel contact. It is more expensive to do it that way, but man, every little detail on this knife has been looked at and touched, you know? This knife is a labor of love for the McNees company. They have their employees work on only a few models. This isn't a company that's pumping 5 new models out every month. No, they've really perfected a few knives, and they put a lot of time and a lot of love into those few knives. The carbon fiber show side scale looks fantastic. It is a full piece of carbon fiber. You can see that weave going all the way along the sides of it. See if I can get that to focus a little better. There we go. And it is hollowed out on the inside for even more weight reduction. This knife looks like a big, heavy, chunky knife. You would think 3.5 inches, 150 thousandths blade stock, titanium frame lock. But really, it's under 4.5 ounces, and it balances so perfectly right behind the pivot. It is one of the most well-balanced folders that I have felt. The size of it is great for me. I wear an extra large size glove, and I still have plenty of room back here. If you had a 2X or a 3X, you would have room. I can choke back if I need some reach. I can choke right up on that blade if I really want some control and get on that hardcore jimping. I can throw it up in a pinch grip and use it for some utility cuts. It's a great blade shape for skinning or scraping, anything like that. Really comfortable to turn around and cut some straps. But if you also needed this to pull some double duty as your beef jerky defense knife in a beef jerky Avenger grip, I am very comfortably locked in. My thumb goes with the curve of the handle. This part right here is perfect for my index finger, and I don't feel like there's any chance that I'm going to slide on these carbon fiber scales if I get any beef jerky juice in there. Flip it around, and even though it's not quite as comfortable for the thumb, it still wraps around so that I'm locked in. And now that pocket clip is also locked in so that if I'm doing some slashing maneuvers, it's not going to pull out of my hand. Being a frame lock, when you're squeezing it, you're putting more pressure on that lock, pushing it deeper under the blade, making it much harder for it to disengage on you accidentally. So of course, standard disclaimer, even though I always recommend a fixed blade for beef jerky defense, you use the knife you have on you, and this is a knife that you feel like you could take on anything with. The first thing I noticed when I flicked this knife out, besides the excellent action, is that solid feeling. Like I could cut through car doors. I could slice through a tank with this thing. I called this a real American hero in my first video. And I feel like I could take on Cobra single-handedly, armed solely with the McNees. That's the kind of confidence this knife inspires. When you whack that out and get a hold of these solid grips. Like, I can't explain it if you haven't handled one. And it's funny because several members of the Kripple Krew that own McNees told me that pretty much those same words. I can't explain it if you haven't handled one, but there's something different about it. The titanium pocket clip, it is not quite deep carry, but it does carry well in the pocket, and it makes it pretty easy to grab and pull that out quickly. That big old blade, we got 150 thousandths of MagnaCut coming down to a wicked sharp and slicey edge. It will slice for days. And yet, look at how stout that blade is, even all the way out to that tip. meaning you are going to have a lot of strength in that tip for piercing or poking tasks. One more, the action, again, is phenomenal. Whether you're rocking it with that reverse flick or, and you know, typically frame locks and my thumb don't get along too well. This one, the way that this is cut, it's pretty hard to lock yourself out when you're going for deployment. Deploys very easily. Just a fantastic looker. Crazy solid lockup. No up and down, no left or right. That apocalyptic finish is going to continue looking fantastic for a long time because you can put this knife through some work and it's not going to show any abuse. Now, here's the question that everybody asks, and I've been asked several times. But DBD, are they worth it? Because you can get one of these right now. There are some available starting at only $535. There are some with milled titanium show side scales going for just under $6. I'll link those down below. But we are talking about a knife that runs between $500 and $600 and can go above even that. But we are getting a mid-tech, small batch produced knife. So they run these in small quantities. The heat treat in small quantities so that the heat treat is right on all of the blades. You know, they are able to put these to a level of quality control that a mass-produced knife just can't attain. These are running on washers, and yet it is buttery smooth. I mean, I take that back. These are running on Delrin Cage ceramic bearings. This is the Gen 2. I take that back. But buttery smooth and so strong. They're made in America, which is always going to cost more because it is more expensive to run a business here and employ Americans. But you're getting that American-made quality. You're supporting a veteran-owned company, and you're getting an heirloom-level knife that you will be able to pass down to your kids, and they can pass down to their kids. Is it worth it? To me, it is. You know, again, supporting a veteran-owned company from right here in America, and you are getting a type of quality that I have very seldom felt. I will be adding a McNees to my collection 100%, at least one. I understand now. I understand the fandom and the fervor that people have for McNees once they have one of these knives in their collection. Homeboy Chris has a few in his. So, yes, they are worth it. And yes, I will have one. But for now, unfortunately, this one has to go home. If you guys have any questions about it, if you have any thoughts you'd like to share, let me know down below in the comments. I'm going to miss this knife for sure. Again, huge shout out. Thank you to Chris. Hope to see you guys on the next live stream. Until then, stay safe, stay frosty. Most importantly, stay deadly.